Now, let's talk business.
I got nothing for you.
Wrong. You got hella cash.
That's my family.
And that's the thing that almost put me off continuing with Life is Strange, which would have been a huge, huge mistake, as it's one of my favourite point-and-click adventures of the last few years. Hello guys, my name is James. This is Life is Strange on touchscreen. I'm really sorry, my voice is still wrecked from illness, but I am going to do this anyway because this is cool and exciting. I am on record as saying that Life is Strange is one of my favourite 7.5 out of 10 games, which sounds like a weird false compliment, but it isn't, because the first episode of this game, it gets off to a bit of a rocky start. When I started playing it, I was like, oh, this lip syncing's a bit weird, and I'm not sure about I'm not sure about everyone saying hella all the time, and there was just a lot of stuff with it that I was like, ooh, I'm not sure this is quite right, and it doesn't quite achieve what it's setting out to. However, it's really something special, and I'm so glad I stuck with it, because if I hadn't, I wouldn't have enjoyed what is one of my favourite adventure games in terms of narrative, in terms of emotional connection, conveying that feeling of being young, feeling isolated, feeling like your friends aren't really listening to you for some reason, having immense amounts of regret for actions you've taken and wondering if maybe if I'd just done things a bit differently. This game covers all of that, and it does it fantastically. The mobile version has just come out. I'm playing this on a slightly older device because it's the only one I have near me at the office at the minute. So the performance isn't brilliant. There's a little bit of frame dropping going on. You can see that everything looks a little bit jaggy, but that's probably only noticeable if you're watching it on a big screen. So if you're seeing this on an actual, for example, like, small iPhone screen or something, it doesn't look that bad, but blow it up to a 30-inch monitor and suddenly things look a little bit rockier. But that comes with the concession, that comes with bringing it into touchscreen, because this episode is like less than a gigabyte in size for the app and the first episode, whereas it's much more than that on your, PlayStation or something like that. So it doesn't really impact the game itself, because the important part of the game for me is the story, the narrative, the voice acting, the way the characters are written, and all that stuff remains 100% intact. You can get them for the first episode's $2.99, and that gets you the original app and the access to the other chapters. There's only chapters 2 and 3 available right now. The other 2 are going to be available after Christmas, episodes 4 and 5. This is Max's diary, you can see, where she keeps track of her characters, her friends rather, the characters we've met so far, and her thoughts. And it's really worth reading this if you haven't, because she kind of summarizes everything that she's done throughout the game. So instead of whenever you boot up the game doing a kind of, hey, this is what happened previously on Life is Strange, which it would obviously do, you can just check what's happened by reading the diary. And it's really nice because she adds her own little asides. Max kind of, commentates on her own life in the diary, and it reads as a great little recap and a good insight into her character. So I'd highly recommend you do that. The control system is tap to interact, so if you've ever played one of the Telltale adventure games ported over onto iOS, very similar system, works very naturally on iOS. Differences are that you have to make sure that you tap in the right place when you want her to move, because she just walks straight in that direction, so that means she'll try and walk through people. The pathfinding isn't amazing, so you need to make, angle the camera, point in a different direction if you want to walk around people or objects. So that's the way to approach it. Just takes a little bit of getting used to, that's all. I don't think it will spoil the pleasure of playing the game. I don't think there's controller support for this, but I think you can change to floating joysticks. I'm going to say I have to use the bathroom, because as you saw, time rewound then when she saw her friend get shot, then she freaked out, put her arm out, and suddenly whoosh, time rewinds, and that's going to play massively into this game. I imagine you probably already know what the game's about, but I don't want to spoil it too much going forward. This is the very, very beginning of the game, so I'm not spoiling anything for the rest of the episodes. They're just laying the groundwork for what's to come. So now, I've got a useful fact. She answered that question correctly, and Max got in trouble for not knowing the answer to the question when I played this a little bit earlier before the time rewind. I'm going to tap this again to rewind even faster. Now, when the teacher asks the question, pause, I can give the correct answer in a very smug fashion.
Can you please Tell us the name of the process that gave birth to the first self-portraits.
Well, now you mention it, it's the process.
Invented by a French painter.
And this is going to really annoy Victoria.
Around 1830.
Somebody has been reading as well as posing.
Yeah, I have.
Nice work, Max.
Yeah, getting that side eye from Victoria. Now, one of the things that also put me off initially when I started playing the game was it was written in sort of hella speak. Everyone goes, "Oh my god, that's hella lame. This is hella cool. This is hella yeah." And sorry, I am ill. And that put me off because it sounded like adults trying to write kid speak and not getting it quite right. But again, don't let that put you off because it's something they even address later on in the game. I think they took their feedback on board, and if you are put off by the first episode, like for certain little things, they fix a lot of stuff later on. And as I say, it would be a real shame if you missed out on the rest of the game because of it, because it really goes fun and cool, unexpected places. Please, I need to get to the bathroom. A bad thing's going to happen. Ah, terrible. So I think this is a fairly decent port. I'd like to play it on a brand new, I'd like to play it on an iPhone 10 just to see if it looks better or runs better, because there are some drops, there are some, you know, frame dips and some lags and stuff like that. And it would be nice if that stuff would be ironed out. It's not an ultimate version of the game, like they've gone back and fixed all the issues with lip syncing and things. All the same problems still apply, but that doesn't take away from what is a really emotionally mature and interesting game that I feel like you should play if you haven't yet. You should really engage with this thing, 'cause it's a fun mechanic. The time rewinding is genuinely interesting. Quick undo there, that's a nice little feature. I'm going to fix my answer, as we all wish we could do sometimes. But could it cause problems? Could it wind up maybe ruining things for everybody? You have to play the game to find out. Life is Strange, out right now, iPhone, iPad. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
By your work. I just really think everyone